Okay, hello, my name is Mr. Matt from the Traverse Area District Library, and we are here with TSO Tots with some members of the Traverse Symphony Orchestra, and we have a lot of fun things happening today. I'm going to bring up our schedule, and I'll let you know what we're going to do. First, I'm going to introduce Dr. Kedrick Merwin, who is the Executive Director of the Traverse Symphony Orchestra. He's going to say a few words. Then I'm going to read a book to you, All God's Critters by Bill Staines and Kadir Nelson. And then I will introduce Gary Gatzke and Kim Teachout, who are going to tell you a little bit about their string instruments. And then we will watch a performance by them where they play 4 different beautiful pieces. And then we'll have time for questions. So I want you to think of some questions that you can ask them after you see their performance. Then we're going to have a little chance to get our wiggles out with Melinda from KinderMusik. And if you have available rhythm sticks, shaker eggs, and scarves, you're going to use them today, so you might want to get those ready. Then I will show you what craft we have in store for you, and then we'll say goodbye. So lots of fun stuff happening. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kedrick Merwin so that he can say a few words. Kedrick?
Thank you, Matt, and thank you for the partnership that we have between the Traverse Symphony Orchestra and the Traverse Area District Library. This is something that's important for our community and important for our organizations together. And none of it would be possible without the support of the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs, who provide operating support for this program, the Alden and Veda Dow Foundation for Arts Education, the Edmund F. and Virginia Ball Foundation for Family Education and Programming, and the Biederman Foundation for Education Programs. And of course, all of the work of the TSO, including this collaboration with the library, is also made possible by the support of our members of the Traverse Symphony Orchestra. Today, I'd also like to thank Kim Teachout, who will be here showing us the viola, a member of the Traverse Symphony Orchestra, and also Gary Gatzke, principal bassist with the Traverse Symphony Orchestra. Thank you both for participating in this. And Matt, then back to you.
All right, thank you, Kedrick. All right, I'm going to start with a little book for you. Our theme today is animals. And so I have a book called All God's Critters, and it's actually a song. It's a song, the words and music written by Bill Staines. And this particular book is illustrated by Kadir Nelson, who is a wonderful children's author. And so instead of just reading the book to you, I'm going to sing it to you. So, and I do need to thank the publisher, Simon & Schuster, for allowing us to use this book in our online program today. So, All God's Critters by Bill Staines and Kadir Nelson. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out loud on a telephone wire. And some just clap their hands or pause or anything they got now. Listen to the bass, it's the one on the bottom, where the bullfrog croaks and the hippopotamus moans and groans with a big to-do. And the old cow just goes moo. The dog and the cat, they take up the middle, while the honeybee hums and the cricket fiddles. The donkey brays and the pony neighs, and the old coyote howls. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. And some just clap their hands or pause or anything they got now. Listen to the top where the little birds sing on the melodies with the high notes ringing. The hoot owl hollers over everything and the jaybird disagrees. Singing in the nighttime, singing in the day. The little duck quacks, then he's on his way. The possum ain't got much to say, and the porcupine talks to himself. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, Some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. And some just clap their hands or pause or anything they got now. It's a simple song of singing sung everywhere by the ox and the fox and the grizzly bear, the grumpy alligator and the hawk above, the sly raccoon and the turtle dove. Are you ready for a big kick line? All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out loud on a telephone wire. And some just clap their hands or pause or anything they got now. All right, that was All God's Critters by Bill Staines and Kadir Nelson. I hope you enjoyed it. And now comes the fun part. I'm going to introduce to you two very special people, Gary Gatzke and Kim Teachout, who play in the Traverse Symphony Orchestra. Gary and Kim, would you like to introduce yourself and maybe tell us a little bit about what you play?
Absolutely. I'm going to turn it over to Kim.
Hi, I am Kim, and I play violin, and I also play viola. And you can see that these two instruments are a little bit different in size. Trying to get you right in my screen. My violin's a little bit smaller, viola's a little bit bigger. Violin is the member of the string section that plays the highest sounds. And some of our sounds can go really super high. All the way up there, and our lowest sound is down here. Violins can sometimes be considered the boss of the orchestra because they get the melody parts a lot. So the songs that you sing, that's usually the violins singing the song for you. Stringed instruments in general are kind of neat because just like our theme is animals, we have part of an animal as part of our instrument. Our hair on our bow is from a horse. And to create a sound on a stringed instrument, what we do is we rub that horsehair on our string and it causes the string to vibrate and we get a huge sound. So the animal that I chose today to represent the violin is the bird. And I think Mr. Matt is going to play us a video of Mr. Gary and I performing the bird.
All right, here we go. All right, that was beautiful.
Thank
Can
you.
you tell us a little bit about the next piece?
Yes, so I'm going to play another piece on the viola this time. Remember, the viola is a little bit bigger than the violin, and therefore it has some lower sounds than the violin does too. My viola is a little bit out of tune this morning, but my lowest sound here is all the way down there. That might actually be lower than my normal sound. but I opened up my case just now and my strings were falling off. So I tried to get them back on a little bit more in tune, but that's not quite where it is. I do not have a animal for the viola. I decided to choose magic instead. I'm going to play for you on this next video the Harry Potter theme. And the reason why I chose magic is because violas, they are magical because sometimes people forget about them. They're in the middle. They're not on top like the violin and in charge. They're not on the bottom like the bass or the cellos that have that big low sound. They're in the middle, so people forget about them. But when they're missing, everybody notices.
All right, beautiful. What's next?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Matt, so much as being such a gracious host for us from the Traverse Symphony Orchestra. My name is Gary Gatzke. I serve as the principal double bass of the orchestra, and I will show you that instrument in a little bit. But right here in front of me, I have a cello. And this instrument has the same strings as the viola, which we just heard Kim play. The cello is quite larger than the violin and the viola, and you play this instrument by sitting down, and it has this thing called an end pin, which is connected to the cello and sits on the floor. So I'll just demonstrate a little bit of what the sound of the cello can make. It's much deeper than the violin and the viola. So I'm going to play the lowest string. Oh, yes, very, very low. And my little puppy here wants to jump on the cello, and we got to tell him no. But then the cello also makes high noises, high sounds. So it can play even higher than that nice low string. So what we have today to demonstrate the cello is a bird, a swan, in Camille Saint-Saëns' The Swan cello solo with Kim Teachout. Enjoy.
All right, that was beautiful. And I think we have one more, right?
We do. Thank you, Matt. So if you've all noticed, these instruments continue to grow from the violin to the viola, then to the cello, which was much bigger than the violin and the viola, to the double bass. This is almost the size of your refrigerator. And it makes super, super low notes. And even lower than that. And that might not even transfer over Zoom, but it's also a very versatile instrument. You can play lovely melodies. So what we have for you today is a demonstration of the double bass on Camille Saint-Saëns' The Elephant. So it really sounds like a really heavy, boisterous elephant. So enjoy this performance of The Elephant by Camille Saint-Saëns with myself, Gary Gatzke on double bass, and Kim Teachout on viola. Enjoy.
All right, that was very cool too.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, at this point, if there are any questions, if you're watching live, go ahead and you can put questions in the chat, or you could request that we turn on your video and you can ask questions. But I don't see any yet. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. It's amazing to me that you play more than one instrument so well. I'm wondering how long have you been playing these instruments?
Well, I'll start. I started the cello when I was 9 years old, and then moved to the double bass when I was 10 years old. So, and throughout life, I thought it was important to keep both of them going.
I started playing violin when I was 7, and I switched to viola when I was a freshman in high school about. So at that point, I also thought it would be important to keep both of them going. So yeah, I guess that would be about 35 years if you want to date us.
I didn't ask, but well, I know I played violin in 4th grade for 1 year, and I played cello in 5th grade for 1 year. And so obviously now I wish I had stuck with it, but these are the choices we make, I guess.
Yes.
Is it hard to be able to switch back and forth between two instruments that kind of look similar but seem so different?
It's not too hard, I don't think, to switch back and forth between violin and viola. We have to make a little bit of adjustments just because of the size, but for the most part, it's pretty easy.
Right. How about you, Gary?
Well, with between the cello and the double bass, there's a big difference in the tuning. Cellos and violins and violas are tuned in fifths, where the double bass is tuned in fourths. So I just have to be mindful as I read the same bass clef for both the cello and the bass of which instrument I have in my hand. So it just is a brain shift that you have to make. But otherwise, it's relatively easy. The spacing of the hand is very similar. There are just fewer notes on the double bass between your fourth finger and your first finger.
Wow.
And counting the thumb, we count the thumb as a thumb. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, I have one more question for you, Gary. Since you play the double bass so well, does that translate to you playing the electric bass also, or is that an entirely different thing?
You know, that's a great question. In some respects, it's just a transfer of playing here down this way. But I think it really takes someone with great skill to play the electric bass. I am primarily a classically trained performer, although I did take a jazz course in college and did perform one performance on the electric bass. But you know, there's the versatility that exists there for people to play both.
That's really cool. All right, now I have a similar question for you, Kim. I know some viola players who also play mandolin. Is that something that you have tried?
Never. No,
Never?
I've never tried the closest I've come to any, other stringed instrument without a bow is I learned about 5 chords on the guitar. And oddly enough, my husband is a guitar player, and you would think that after playing, and putting your fingers on strings for so many years and having these big calluses built up, that didn't help me at all on guitar. Guitar hurts your fingers so much more, especially if it's a steel string guitar.
All right. Well, cool. All right. I don't have any other questions right now, and we don't have any questions from our audience. So if you guys have anything else you'd like to say before we go ahead and do some playtime with KinderMusik.
I would just say, if any of these instruments look appealing to you, exciting, I highly suggest, you work with your parents to try and track one down. They're purchasable locally at local music stores or online. And there are music teachers in the Grand Traverse region that you can work with outside of school, and give it a shot. Music is incredible, and it will enrich your life and be lots of fun.
I just want to say thank you so much for having us here today. We really enjoyed putting this together.
Oh, thank you so much. We're really thankful that you are willing to do this, and we're so glad you're here. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and we are going to get a chance to, if you haven't already gotten out your rhythm sticks and your shakers and your scarves, now's the time, because we're going to do Get Your Wiggles Out with Melinda from KinderMusik. So give yourself a little bit of space and get your stuff ready. And I will start Miss Melinda's video.
Good morning, everybody. I have some friends in the Manistee area joining us today for our animal segment of our symphony and library presentation. I'm so glad to see everybody. We're gonna make sunshines. Can you make a sunshine? And we're gonna cock-a-doodle-doo. Except we're gonna say cuckoo-ree-coo, cuckoo-ree-coo. That's the Hebrew way to say cock-a-doodle-doo. Are you ready? Morning sun has risen. It's time to rise and shine. Sing, rooster, for it is morning time. Ready? Cuckoo-ree-coo, cuckoo-ree-coo, it is morning time. Cuckoo-ree-coo, cuckoo-ree-coo, it is morning time. Sing cock-a-doodle-doo. get ready for some donkey music. We're gonna put our sticks away. Let's put our sticks away. Grab some shakers. We're gonna do a little dancing with some shakers. Get your shakers out. You find something to shake with? Shake, shake, shake. We're gonna take a couple slow steps in and a couple slow steps out and bounce. What does the donkey say? Who's got a good donkey sound? Did you hear it? Hee-haw! Hee-haw! Oh, let's try a hee-haw step. A hee-haw step where you go forward and back. Forward and back. Hee-haw! 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 Keep going. Hee-haw! 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 Ready? We're gonna step slow. Hee-haw, hee-haw. Hee-haw, 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 hee-haw. March, 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 march. Let's get ready for some horsey galloping. Gallop, gallop, gallop. Trot, 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 trot. Gallop, 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 gallop. We're going to do hop up my baby. So if you have somebody little with you, you can lift them high into the air. If you have somebody heavier or bigger with you and lifting them is too hard, have them lift their arms way up high. We're going to do it 3 times in a row. Okay? Here, we're going to do some dancing, everybody. You ready for some dancing? Hop up my baby. We're going to gallop like a horsey. Come here. We gallop like a horse. We gallop like a horse. Here we go, everybody. Let's gallop. Did you ever go to Eden? Yeah, we're going to do like that. Did you ever go to meet Uncle Joe? Uncle Joe, don't mind the weather when the wind don't blow. Grab somebody. Hop up 3 times. Baby, 3 in a row. Hop up, my baby, 3 in a row. If your voice is singing, red? What color is this? Orange. Peekaboo. 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 I see you. Thank you. Flutter, flutter. Our time is all up already, everyone, and it was so great to see all of you. I hope you can flutter and fly, flit and buzz all around today with your scarves and your creative little bodies. And I'll see you next time, everybody. Wave goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.
All right. That was great. Thank you very much to Miss Melinda for doing that for us. Before we say goodbye, I would like to just kind of show you what kind of craft we have for you today. And you can stop by the library and get a free craft kit. And what we have are animal masks. Here I have a little pig or cat. Anyway, you can stop by and get one of these kits, and it has a mask and some markers and a few ideas to get you started so that you can decorate your own mask in whatever animal you'd like. So hopefully you will stop by. And also, if you haven't yet, we still have a few more instrument kits with rhythm sticks and shakers and a scarf and a drum and maybe even a kazoo, courtesy of the library and the TSO. So if you haven't stopped by to get an instrument kit, please do, and grab an animal mask craft also. All right. Kedrick is still here, and I just want to say, Kedrick, thank you so much. This is our final TSO Tots of the season, and we've had a great time, and I can't wait to do it again sometime. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, and we'll look forward to doing this again. And I just wanted to say, isn't Miss Melinda's program fantastic? And for those parents at home with small ones right now, what a great introduction to rhythm and music and interaction and all of those things that are going to help them have success going forward. So I would suggest looking her up for her program. It's really terrific.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually studies have shown that kids that do music when they're really young, it doesn't just help them do music when they're later in life, it helps them do all kinds of things. It really gets their brain ready for all kinds of learning. Absolutely.
So thank you, Melinda. And thank you, of course, Matt, for this partnership with the TSO. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Kedrick. Well, goodbye, everyone. We're so glad you joined us for this and hope to see you again sometime. Bye-bye.